And if you have either heavy books or blocks, those may be helpful. We'll be doing some lunging this evening. And then just find a comfortable seat. Crown of the head is coming towards the ceiling, shoulders are dropping down away from the ears. And you can always bring one hand to the small of the back, one hand to the crown of the head, just getting that length in the spine, giving you that feedback as you press the head into the hand lightly. And then once you've got that length in the spine, then drop the hands down. Close the eyes or bring the gaze down. Starting to connect with this evening breathing pattern. At first, just observing the quality of your breath. Try to bring the breath in and out of the nostrils. Or if you're congested or that's just challenging, try to bring the breath in through the nostrils and out of the mouth. And as you're gradually deepening these breaths, you're looking for a rhythmic ebb and flow of the inhales and exhales. Feeling the lungs expand, the belly expand on the inhales, and that emptying out on the exhales. Once you've got that rhythmic ebb and flow of the breath, take a few deeper breaths. Longer, fuller breaths. You can even add a little bit of audible aspirant exhale. Back to that rhythmic breath, that mid-range breath that you can easily maintain for the next 45 minutes. Relax the facial muscles. Relax the neck and shoulders. Allow the arms to be a little heavy. Relaxing the hands. Soften the torso from the heart center through the hips. And then soften the upper legs, the groin muscles and the lower legs. Softening the ankles, the tops of the feet, the heels, arches, balls of the feet, and the toes. And then bring your focus back to the breath. Allowing that breath to allow you to let go of anything that's happened earlier today, anything you need to take care of later. Using this breath to anchor you in the present moment and to help you focus. Taking a few more breaths here to bring a goal to mind for this practice, setting your intention. Nothing in yoga should hurt. So as we move through this practice, If anything causes pain or discomfort, back out. Take a couple more breaths here. And then you can blink the eyes open or bring the gaze forward. Taking a big inhale with head at center. And on the breath out, drop the chin towards the chest as you lift chest towards chin. Letting the head be heavy, consciously having those shoulders come down away from the ears. Take a breath in to bring the chin towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch hopefully on the front of the neck. Noticing if the back of the neck feels scrunched, and if it is, drop the chin slightly. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, head comes back to that center position. We're going to do a few rotations in a circle or a half circle in one direction. Nice and slow. Observing any areas of crunchiness, areas that feel tight. One more circle in this direction and reverse. If you felt areas of tightness on the in the other direction, see if you also feel those areas in this direction, or if there's other places you feel it. Just information. Bring your head back to that center position. Take a breath or two here. Think about anchoring the sitting bones onto the mat. Inhale, arms overhead, reaching those fingertips up. Nice torso stretch here. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, bring the elbows wide, drop the hands on top of the shoulders, and we'll do a few elbow circles out to the side in one direction and in the other direction. Bringing the arms back to center, sweep them back overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms towards the ceiling. Acting as if you're going to squeeze the ears with your arms. You're going to pull the fingers apart. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to round the upper back, drop the arms gently in front of you, pressing the palms away. Inhale to bring the palms back up. And then bring that left forearm behind the crown of the head and drop the right elbow down. Getting an upper arm stretch on that left side, being mindful of where your head is and neck is, making sure that's comfortable. Inhale to press up, and we'll switch sides. Inhale, press up. On the exhale, bring the arms back in front of you. And just note which pinky is in front. We're going to sweep the arms behind us and switch the interlace of the fingers, bringing the palms towards the back and the knuckles towards the mat. Drawing the shoulder blades together, maybe adding a peek up at the ceiling. And maybe if you've got a little room to go, hinging from the hips, folding forward, lifting the arms towards the crown of the head. Inhale as you bring the torso up if you fold it in. Release the hands and plant the hands behind you. Fingertips can be whatever direction is comfortable. We're going to press into the hands as we draw the shoulder blades back towards each other and take another look up at the ceiling. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, release that gaze up at the ceiling. Go ahead and shake the arms out. Coming back to that tall seated position, sweep the arms overhead. Inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to twist to the left, bringing right hand to left knee, left hand by left hip. Tall spine here. On an inhale, sweep the arms through center and we'll twist to the other side. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the twist. Wrap the arms around the knees, taking a breath or two here. And then we'll do a couple seated cat-cows, drawing navel towards spine, rounding the upper back, bringing chin towards chest. On an inhale, slowly bring the torso through center. Heart center comes forward, shoulder blades come towards each other. Maybe bending the elbows. And then we'll come back to that seated, arched back position. One more time through center, coming into that, I guess, sway back position. And then we'll come to center, taking a breath or two here. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll come into all fours, into a table pose. Knees are right under the hips. And we're going to move the fingers to whatever position you find is comfortable. We're going to do a few wrist circles, bringing the torso in circles over the wrists. You can bring the fingertips towards the outside of the mat, or if you have the flexibility, you can bring the fingertips to face the knees. It's pretty intense. So whatever works for you, find that position, make sure the fingers are spread wide, palms are pressing into the mat. And then we'll do those circles. Try to bring the torso around the wrists. If this irritates the wrist, bring the fingertips to face forward, or just hold for a breath or two. Reverse the circles. And then come back to a center position. We're going to walk the hands forward and press the hips back, bringing the knees a little bit wide to come into a child's pose. Reaching those arms as long as you can. Palms can be on the mat. Head is relaxed, neck is long. On an inhale, look up. Walk the hands over to the right, dropping the head back down. Inhale, look up, walk the hands through center and over to the left. Inhale, look up, bringing yourselves back to that neutral position. And then slowly make your way back to the table pose. If your knees are sensitive, you can always fold your mat the long way, or even tri-fold the mat to pad the knees. And then find that nice foundation, wrist creases under shoulders, knees under hips. Think about engaging those low abdominal muscles as you drop the belly towards the mat, lift head, chest, tailbone. On an exhale, tuck the tailbone under, round the upper back, chin comes towards chest. So we'll continue. We already did some seated cat-cows. We'll continue to get that spinal mobility, circulation into the spine, doing this from the table position. You don't have to go deep into the arch or the sway back to get the benefit of this. There's still circulation increase in the spine, still getting that flexion and extension in the spine. Do one more cat, one more cow. Meet in a neutral table. You can wag the tail, bringing the hips towards the shoulders, looking over the shoulders towards the hips. Coming back to a center position. From here, we're going to come into bird dog, extending that left leg out behind you. Right arm optional to bring that right arm forward. Thumb is facing the ceiling. You can also have that right hand on the mat, feeling that expansion across the body. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to put a bend in that left knee, trying to bind that left foot over the back, while at the same time trying to keep the hips level. Coming into what's called a crossbow. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, release that right hand, plant the right hand, swivel that right leg on the diagonal, and extend the left leg so the inner edge is in line with the hip, and sweep that left arm up. Take one more inhale here, and you can stay here for a couple more breaths, or you can lift the left leg up, still reaching the right or the left arm up towards the ceiling. Coming into a modified half moon pose. One more inhale here, and on the exhale, release the pose, bringing yourselves back to a table position. You can wag the tail a couple times. And then we'll do that sequence on the other side. Extending that right leg out, left arm comes forward as an option, feeling the expansion across this side of the body from those left fingertips through the right foot. Take one more inhale here, and on the exhale, put a bend in the right knee, trying to reach that right foot with the left hand across the back. Maybe getting a nice quad stretch here on that right leg. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, extend the leg back out. We're going to bring that left calf on the diagonal, reaching that right leg along the side, in line with the right hip. Reach the right arm towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Breath or two here. And then you can add a lift of the right leg up. I'm trying to find my left hand position right under the left shoulder, coming into that modified half moon. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the pose, coming back to a child's pose. Maybe bringing those knees wide as you reach the arms forward, press the hips back. This time, if you want to bring the palms together, you can bring the palms over the crown of the head, getting more of an upper arm stretch. Couple breaths here. On the next inhale, slowly release the child's pose. We'll come back to that table position, bringing the knees under the hips. This time we'll curl the toes under. You can stay in this table for a few breaths, or if you want to do a little strength builder, you can push the heels back as you lift the knees up, and then put the knees back down a couple times. Next time you push the heels back and lift the knees, bring the hips up and back, or maybe you've just gone from table right into down dog. And we'll pedal the feet, easing into this first down dog. Alternating, bringing a knee towards the mat. If this irritates your wrists, you can take a wide stance with the feet. You can place your hands on blocks, or you can bring the feet closer to the hands. Coming to a still down dog. Taking a breath or two here. Tops of the feet are drawing towards the shins. Knees are a little bit soft. Fingers spread wide, palms pressing in. On the next inhale, raise that right leg up. On the exhale, step that right foot through to the hands, gently bringing that left knee onto the mat. Taking a breath or two in this lunge. Bring the left hand firmly planted to the inner right foot. Curl the left toes under to lift that knee up. Sweep the right arm towards the ceiling. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to scoop that right arm behind the left elbow. We'll do this a few times dynamically, getting into that mid back. We often do this from a different orientation, but it gets into the same area, that thoracic spine. One more time, reaching up. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, windmill that right hand outside of right foot. Step back to right. Step right back into down dog, or maybe go from table to down dog. And then pedal the feet a few more times. Easing back in, noticing how that right side of the body feels compared to the left. And then coming to stillness. Checking in with your position. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale to step that left foot through to the hands. Gently bringing that right knee onto the mat. Breath or two here. Plant that right hand to inner left foot. Curl the right toes under, lifting the right knee up. And then sweep that left arm towards the ceiling. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, scoop that left arm behind right elbow. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, up. Couple more times. Next time you reach that arm up, hold there. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, windmill the hand next to that left foot. Step right back to either plank or go right back to down dog, coming through whatever transition you'd like. And we'll meet back in down dog. On an inhale, look up. Step, jump, or walk the feet to a forward fold. Shaking out head, neck, and shoulders, allowing the arms to dangle. And this is another place you can use a block. Allowing the arms to rest on the block may help you relax into the forward fold. You want to make sure that the knees have at least a micro bend in them. You're not locking them out. And then also that the crown of the head is coming towards the mat to give you that length in the back of the spine or in the back of the neck. On an inhale, come halfway up, flat back. On the exhale, fold back in. This time we're going to interlace the fingers and bring them to the back of the head and try to open the elbows wide. And then if you want, you can add a slight sway side to side. Coming to a center position. Release the arms. Inhale, halfway up again. Scrunch the shoulders towards the ears. Tuck the tailbone under as you roll the torso up to standing. And sweep the arms overhead. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, fold to one side. Inhale to center and fold to the other side. Inhale back to center. We're going to take the right hand and drop it towards the shoulder blades, using the left palm to put a little bit of resistance on that right elbow. Getting hopefully a nice upper arm stretch on the right side. Inhale, reach up, switch sides. Reaching left hand towards the shoulder blades. Inhale, reach up, bringing the palms together. And gently bringing the palms over the heart center. Breath or two here. Take one more inhale with fingertips facing up. And on the exhale, flip the fingers down, maybe pulling the wrists apart, keeping the fingertips together, or maybe pressing the wrists together if you have that flexion in your wrist, that flexibility. Relax your shoulders. Inhale to flip the palms up. And on the exhale, release the hands, shake them out. And then make a fist with the hands. We'll do a few rotations with the wrists in one direction and in the other direction. Bringing the hands back to stillness. Shake them out again. And then grab your blocks. And we're going to put the blocks towards the top of the mat. And the blocks are totally optional. If they're books, you can put them on their side or stack them up. And then step to the top of the mat. Rooting the feet down, inhale to reach the arms up. Hinging from the hips, swan dive forward, keeping that softness in the knees. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back to that plank position. Again, just to transition into table. Check in, knees under hips, wrist creases under shoulders. From here, extend the right leg out. Inhale here. On the exhale, step that right foot through to the hands. This is where you can place the hands on blocks. We're going to drop the hips down, coming into a fairly low lunge. And when I say fairly, I'm talking about dropping the hips down. Top of the foot can be of the back foot can be on top of in contact with the mat. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, if you're using blocks, you can walk them to either side of your hips to come into a hamstring stretch. Trying to keep the hips level. The more you flex the right foot, the more intense you will feel this on the back of your leg. So just being mindful of how intense it is. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll come back to the lunge. This time, we're going to bring the hands to the inner right foot, maybe using the blocks, maybe dropping the hands onto the mat. You can stay here. Or if you feel like you have room to go, you can drop onto your forearms. You can bring that right knee off to the right corner of the mat. You can also keep the arms extended. Still lots of benefit here. One more inhale here. One more exhale. On the next inhale, bring that right hand outside of the right foot. Shift the hips slightly. Coming back to a table pose. Wag the tail a couple times to neutralize the spine. And then we'll do that sequence on the other side. Extend the left leg out, engaging those low abdominals. Big inhale as you step or maybe help that foot come through to the hands. Shifting the hips down. Gaze can be forward. Being mindful of the stretch on that right hip flexor. It should be a nice stretch without going past your edge. Left toes can be in front of the left knee, protecting that knee. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, shift the hips back to come into your hamstring stretch. The more you bring those toes towards the mat, the less intense the stretch will be. If you're really tight on that leg, it may be beneficial to bring the toes down. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll come back to the low lunge, this time bringing those hands to the inner left foot, maybe dropping onto the forearms, maybe opening that knee to the left side of the mat. Yogi's choice. Finding sensation. Take one more inhale here, one more exhale. On the next inhale, if the arms, if you're on your forearms, go ahead and straighten the arms, bring that left hand outside of the left foot, coming back to table. Wag the tail once or twice. Coming back to a still position. Curl the toes under. You can take a breath or two to press those heels back again. This time, to get a little bit more of a foot stretch, you can spread the toes as you're pressing the heels back. And then relax the feet. Bring the knees off the mat, bring the hips up and back into down dog. Pedaling the feet a few more times. Easing back in. Coming to a still down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale to step that right foot through to the hands. We're going to swivel that back foot flat. Inhale, arms up. Warrior one. Left hip is drawing forward, right hip is drawing back. Right knee is pulling towards that right little toe, protecting the knee. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, open to the long side of the mat, gazing over the right hand. Feeling that expansion across the collarbones. One more inhale here. One more exhale. On the next inhale, straighten the front leg. Lengthen the torso over that leg to tip into triangle. You can bring the arms into a straight line or drop the left hand on the left hip. Right hip is actively drawing back to help that left hip come forward. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the pose, putting a bend in that right knee. Windmill the hands either side of that right foot. Swivel the back toes to track straight. Step back to plank. Choose your transition. We'll meet in down dog. Keeping in mind that just about everything I cue, you can do from a table position. Once you're in down dog, notice how that right side of the body feels compared to the left. And then inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step that left foot through to the hands, swiveling that right foot flat. Inhale, arms up. Warrior one on this side. This time, left hip draws back, right hip draws forward. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, open to the long side of the mat, gazing over the left hand. Shoulder blades are right over hips. Feeling that expansion through the arms. Next inhale, straighten the left leg. Lengthen the torso over that leg to tip into triangle on this side. And triangle may be another place that you can use a block, either to the inside, or if it feels better, on the outside of that left ankle. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, put a bend in that left knee. You can put the block off to the side, windmill the hands either side of that left foot, swivel the right toes to track straight. This time when we step back to plank, we'll bring the knees wide, big toes come together, press the hips back. Coming into frog's pose. On the next inhale, slowly look up. We'll come back through the table position, only to transition to the legs in front of us. And then bring the legs into a wide V. Making sure that the sitting bones are in contact with the mat. Low spine is as tall as you can get it. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips. Find your natural stopping point. folding forward. And then once you've found that stopping point, you can drop the head down, you can relax the upper back, making sure there's softness in the knees. Feeling hopefully that inner leg stretch on both legs. Staying with the breath. On the next inhale, slowly bring the torso up. Bring the soles of the feet together. The feet can be as close or far from your body as you'd like. If you've got blocks, you can allow the knees to rest on the blocks by propping them up. If you don't have blocks, then just allow the knees to come to their stopping point, interlacing the fingers around the toes, again, hinging at the hips to fold in. Noticing where you can soften, where you can let go. On the next inhale, gently roll the torso up. Bring the hands to under the knees and scoop the knees together. Bring the hands by the hips and then windshield wiper the knees side to side. Coming to a center position, we're going to come onto our backs, placing the feet on the mat, grabbing your giant imaginary beach ball, using that beach ball to control this motion of coming down one vertebra at a time. Once you're down, knees draw into the chest. You can rock side to side. You can make small circles on that low spine in each direction. We'll come back to a center position. From here, we're going to roll onto our left side. Bringing that left elbow directly under the left shoulder. You can step the right foot in front of the left thigh or bring it behind the left thigh. We're going to come into a stretch, a side plank variation. You can lift the hips up if that's comfortable. If this is enough sensation, you can stay in this pose. So the option is to lift the hips and maybe sweep the arm up. Making sure that elbow is directly under the shoulder and that the shoulder's okay with it. Flexing that left foot may help to lift the hips a little higher. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the pose. We'll switch over to the other side. Finding that position of that right elbow directly under the shoulder. Left foot steps in front of or behind that right thigh. Maybe lifting the hips, maybe adding that sweep of the arm, or maybe keeping the hips on the mat. Staying with the breath here. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the pose. And then go right onto your backs, drawing the knees back in. Bring the arms to a cactus shape or a T shape. And we're going to drape the knees over to the right. Inhale through center and over to the left. We'll do this a couple times. Then you can hold for a breath or two after our 2 or 3 times. Next time you bring the knees over to the right, hold there. You can look up at the ceiling over that left shoulder. If your low back is tweaky, you can bring the knees higher than the hips. You're also welcome to extend or bend the top or bottom leg. Just noticing what happens. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, slowly bring those knees through center and drape them over to the other side. Finding your twist on this side. Few more full breaths here. On the next inhale, slowly bring the knees back to center. Hug them in. This time we'll bring forehead to knees, hugging everything in. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, release head, neck, and shoulders. And we'll come right into happy baby, grabbing calves, ankles, arches, big toes, maybe rocking side to side. We'll meet back in a center position. Hug the knees in one last time. From here, we're going to come into final relaxation. You can allow the feet to find the corners of the mat, or you can bring the knees together, bringing the feet wide, or you can come back to that cobbler's pose. Arms come along your sides, palms are facing up, integrating everything we've done, coming back to the breath, and taking rest. And you all can stay lying down. I'm going to sit up so you can hear me better. Slowly start to deepen your brows. Gently roll your head side to side. Wiggle fingers. Wiggle toes. Rotate wrists and ankles. And sweep the arms overhead to take a full body wake up stretch from the tips of the fingers all the way through the toes. And roll onto your side. Knees can be bent, legs can be extended. make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes can be closed, gaze can be down. Big inhale to sweep the arms overhead, bringing the palms together and bringing the palms over the heart center, thumbs resting on the sternum. Taking a few more deep cleansing breaths. Revisiting what your intention was. Taking a few more breaths to reflect on something or someone you're grateful for. And I thank you for sharing this practice with each other and with me this evening. And may the light in me honor the light in each of you. Namaste.